Okay, welcome everybody to the Bookmap Academy. We meet every Thursday and we go through order flow from what you had journaled during the week. So, for those of you out there who aren't a part of the Academy program, it's really simple, easy to join. Let me get my screen going here. On a minute. All right, there we go. Okay, so yeah, welcome again, everybody, and Vinny. We got Vinny in there. Okay, excellent. So it's really simple to join. Nothing's required. So just go to bookmap.com, and then you'll click on the More button here, and then under Community, click on Bookmap Academy, and you can sign up right here. Okay, so once you sign up, you apply to the Bookmap Academy, and anyone can do it. And you then can request a spreadsheet if you want to take this further and get into the program. The program is you'll start to journal your trades, and then when you journal your trades, we'll take a look at it and give it feedback. And during this session, you'll see we'll pick a bunch and go through it. You'll post it in our Discord channel. These are of Bookmap and how you're reading the order flow. And get proficient at this, meet the quota of one piece of journaling per day, and as you get better and it makes meets a qualitative threshold, then you can be invited to the Bookmap Academy, where you can get Bookmap for free, and you can also get stops and icebergs for free as well. Okay, so anyway, it's a pretty nice offering there. And incentive. It's kind of funny, the incentive here. I think it's a pretty nice deal for not doing much, just one per day. However, most people, tell me if I'm wrong, but it seems you guys are just way more interested in really good journaling, getting really good feedback, and just improving in your trading. And then this is icing on the cake here. That's what I've seen so far, and is fantastic to see, because the passion for trading is fantastic here. And then if you do well enough there, you can move on to another step here and become a Bookmap coach. And you can also get data for free, as well as Bookmap and the stops and icebergs. And then the next step would be become a streamer. Okay, so start streaming here in Bookmap, and there's other incentives that come along with that as well. All right, so it all starts by just clicking on here to apply and signing up. All right, so just to let you guys know about our onboarding webinar, we do this on Tuesday. So this is just kind of a reminder about it. If you're new to Bookmap, we would just go through the basics, and how to get up and running, how to download the platform, connect it to data, add a symbol. Just really simple stuff, and answer your questions. So we're there for you and guide you through the process. Now we're going to change it starting next Tuesday. It's going to be at 1 p.m. East Coast time instead of 2 p.m. Okay, and then yeah, just the criteria here. You might have questions about what the criteria is for the journaling. It's pretty simple. Number one is meet that quantitative and qualitative threshold. But you're going to just document order flow phenomena, your checklist for your setup, the way that you trade, and then how this order flow supports that setup, and gain insight from it. So now you have an enhanced version of your setup. You're going to build out your playbook here. This is critical here. And you have a playbook to go back and start to understand the nuances to your setup or setups. And then we want to see some progression as well. And we have slowdowns image that you can see early on. He just kind of shows lots of different markups in here of order flow phenomena. It's getting to understand it, the markets, how they work. He refines it here some months later. He's looking at very specific things that relate to how he trades, or what is interesting for his trades. And then finally, he's got a focus, very specific focus into a very specific setup. Okay, that is a great documentation of the process. And that's more or less what we're looking for. So, and that said, we want to welcome here Coach Vinny. So he's gone through the process. So congratulations, Vinny. You've really, been exemplary. So you've come in, you have a passion for it, you have documented. You went through this whole process of like, some simple documentation into very specific things, and you have continued to do it. You've got it down into habit now. The quality is there, and the consistency is there, and I can only think that this has helped your trading tremendously. So, welcome, and you've been coming to this stage and giving some feedback. And next time we'll have some people for you to give specific feedback to. Let's see. One more thing is the next week or coming soon. I don't have the quite the dates yet, but we have a new Market Pulse tool or features, and we'll give Bookmap Academy members this for free. This is one of the benefits is you guys will get kind of early adoption to some of the new developments. All right, so I'll have more details for you later, but it's pretty cool. You're able to nest all of the little Market Pulse widgets into a matrix or kind of a box, so you can easily move those around and change them, etc. So that'll be one of the features, as well as synthetic Market Pulse instruments. You drop one on top of the other, and you have a brand new Market Pulse widget. So if you're looking at crude oil and RBOB, or I don't know, whatever it is, some sort of crack spread or something that you might be trading, you can get that is a very specific Market Pulse add-on. So anyway, that's it. Let's jump in, and I think we'll jump over to Laura, because Laura has been. Is she in here?
She was.
Let's see. I don't
Sure she was.
see.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Yeah, I'm sure she was a moment ago.
Ah.
Dan, shout out.
There she is. Okay, Laura. So yeah, we're gonna go over. We promised we'd go over you this next time. So of course you're always welcome to the stage, Laura. But I know you you don't like it, or you want to. You're not too comfortable about your English. No problem. So we'll go through it here. And David, take it away, sir.
Yeah, sure. Well, great charting as always, Laura. Fantastic to see. I mean, these charts are absolutely beautiful, Bruce. They're sort of textbook for the Academy in terms of a storyboard. We've got all the things I like. I've got the date, I've got the time, I've got the zone. It's numbered. We've got a brilliant checklist, etc., etc. So they're great for all students, beginners and experienced traders as well, to understand what you're up to. You really are fine tuning the 1, 2, 3 setups, which is great to see, as we'll see when we dive into this. Obviously, I love your ORB, the opening range bar. I know quite a few of us use that opening range bar as a marker on the chart. If you haven't looked at ORB, do go and have a look at it and see if it's something you wish to have on your charts, because it's pretty deadly. I could pull up my charts from today. No, you're not, David. I could pull up my tick charts from today. And again, the ORB was really effective in that first 15, 30, 60 minutes of trading, Bruce, where you're looking for support and resistance, and then liquidity building around that, maybe some other dark arts and voodoo around that. As we can see here with Laura, we got POC chiming up with ORB, and then it just reduces the risk on a trade. Right, this is the first chart, Bruce. So this is the battlefield lens. So I love, we got the RTH open, noted and so forth. Can I just come on to that one there, Laura? I was chatting to Bruce just ahead of this. So, and I was Dan and the words and so forth. What I'd like you to think of doing is add in these opening trades. Now, they are a little bit high risk, so it's something to maybe go and explore within playback and that sort of thing. But as you can see, Bruce, on the left-hand side of the chart, it's got RTH open. We go down to the bottom at the volume bars. It's really clear that the sell volume is picking up, and it's picking up at pace. We saw that today, except it was on the buy. The market scooted up. It was really clear. What I do, some of you have seen, I have a time and sales running. So I don't use the time and sales on Bookmap, which is very good. I use my Ninja one, but I'm looking at the time and sales. I'm seeing the volume going, and I'm in. So have a little play at that sort of opening range trade, breakout trade. I'm never sure the quiet word on it, Bruce, but you know what I mean. It's someone pitches a ball at you and you swing at it. That's really what it is. Anyway, so okay, David's rambling already.
No,
Yeah,
no, no,
I'm
no.
talking
That's right. ORB, orb. I always remember the orb. But
the orb.
yeah, yeah. So I'm sorry, I just interrupted you. Continue on,
No,
David.
that's okay. That's okay. So Laura's seen the RB, comes down, settles back up, and then she's looking for that failure at the ORB. If we go then on to the next chart, which is sort of the zoomed in chart, please, Bruce. So chart number 2, that little one there, we've got this fantastic checklist, which I love. And then we can see where Laura then is trading it. She's taking the 1, 2, 3. She's got the attempt. She's got a couple of little cheeky little trades going in here. The first attempt was a break-even trade in the middle. Didn't quite work out, but you saved your graces, which is great. And what I love is you went at it again. You know the setups there. You know the markets there. You've got the signals. You've got the red volume bars below. In you go. You've initially set VWAP as your target, but as you say, you're starting to see some action coming in, and you decide rightly just to bag up, and it's a lovely trade. So yeah, that's it. We can see on the subchart, Bruce. We got the couple of markups there in terms of volume, CVD, and all that other voodoo going on. But yeah, you've really honed this, and I know that people have also mentioned that. I think with JS Pips, he's looking at some of the trades that you do on that one. Right, let me throw the mic to you, please, Vinny, sir, and then we'll go to Stan. So congratulations on joining us here on the stage. It's going to be fantastic having you here every week. Brilliant, sir. Over to you.
Still on.
Whoops, there we go. Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, now.
All right, yes. All right, I'm very glad to be here. Thank you very much. And a shout out to Dan. He's a man that works behind the scenes and getting everything together. So a shout out to him. But
Definitely.
yeah, as far as your setup, Laura, and the Shark Blue, 1, 2, 3 setup over here, you two are a pretty good team. You really kind of zeroed in on this strategy, and I really got to hand it to you because both of you and Shark Blue really put this out every single week, and it took me some time to go over and review it myself. And yeah, you hit it. You hit your 1, 2, 3 strategy right over here. You have your target toward the VWAP as well. I see you also use the market pulse with the CVD signal as well. So you really have your checklist in tune with your strategy and trade here. And then you went ahead and followed it through pretty much right through your VWAP. And yeah, so I see everything on target here. And also, you had your indicator to really go ahead and exit the trade once you had your CBD, at the other extreme. So bravo to that. And yeah, and that's all I have to say for now. So good job.
It is, isn't it? Yeah, I know we've got John in the room. It's that sort of, it's easy to say. It's simple, deadly, and effective. And I say that utterly respectfully because being able to spot these in real time, execute in real time, is not simple. It's that muscle memory, reps and sets. Stan, sir, what do you think? Please.
So, first I want to say congrats on Vinny, obviously. And then, just read that again. Nothing to say more. I think you said everything. It's clear. We already see this.
Stan, it's a
this pattern.
little hard to hear you. You can maybe the mic get a little closer or something.
Yeah. Is it better?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
perfect.
great. So yeah, adjustment like great work, strong. Yeah, you just repeat the same thing, so you have a great consistency. Everything is great. Just keep going.
Cheers, Stan. Thank you very much. Bruce, I'm going to toss you the ball on a Monday morning. Quarterback approach, please.
All right. I'm fading back, looking for the receivers here. All right. I really like your work, Laura, a lot. Um, the as you and you continue to hone this again and again. I do have actually quite a few questions for you on this, and in fact, don't be surprised, guys. Like we'll have a new supply and demand trading course coming out very soon, probably next week. And it'll be in the Learning Center. Actually, I didn't cover the 1, 2, 3 pattern, but I probably will in an upcoming video. I did cover the ORB, so something to take a look at there and filling gaps and some other things. Just to let you guys know about that, because I really want to cover this. I really like the setup myself. Um, so, Laura, I think my first question is, and maybe you see it here. Yeah, I think this is your higher time frame, right? So, and you're looking for the setup is here's the trade in the next image. Yeah, so it's this little section in here that you're looking at. Okay, good. So higher time frame, no question about it. Who's in control? I mean, the whip back is pretty significant, and then it does chop around in here quite a bit. So nonetheless, though, I mean, the setup and what I think you see here is excellent. So you see this little cluster in here of selling. Then we get exhaustion here now, and we know we're higher at the higher time frame level, right? So that's critical to understand. So I just want to re-emphasize this again and again, that being at that higher time frame level up here can make it's like you're probably 70% there just by having that. Then looking for your specific setup. And Laura, God, I wish I could get you on the mic. Would be fantastic. So I'm wondering if you're even interested, because you have a beautiful example right here of exhaustion. And are you? I know a lot of times you were kind of looking maybe a little more aggressively getting in someplace here, and it can go against you. No question about it, because this is pretty strong move. But you consistently do this, and you consistently see this trend line break. So I'm just wondering if maybe you want to, um, if you're considering some of the entries maybe in this area here, when you start to see that selling, maybe down to the bottom of the range, take some off, because you never know. But you do have that cluster here. You do have the selling in here, and you do have the exhaustion here, and we're at a higher time frame level. So hitting down here looks pretty good, and maybe you can hold for a bigger move. And I see what you're looking for in here. It seems a little choppy to me. I know what you're looking at. I see it hit the trend line here. You're looking for the selling to come back in. You've got the selling here starting to, you're leaning on that, and that's fantastic. That you've got that in, kind of at your back, and you were looking to hold this, and then you got stopped out for a small gainer here. Hey, no harm, no foul. It worked out great, and I too love the fact that you got back in this again, and because up here sellers are still in control. Look at the exhaustion up here in this point right here. Beautiful. Just look for those sellers again, get back in, and then yeah, kind of what you did. You trailed your stop down below the bottom of the range in here, and then took some out. So really, really nice management, and you protected yourself here. And I think probably more importantly, I feel again and again that these areas in here, if you protect yourself, you build confidence. And this makes a huge difference, at least for me, that like, okay, I didn't have to put up with this. And now, in fact, I feel free and liberated enough to get in again. That's where you, because of your good management in here, you're able to make a good decision up here again. Yeah, that's what I see, and those are
The
my
phrase
comments.
I cover that there, Bruce. I haven't used it for a couple of days or weeks. Is you become a boxer then. You're taking punches. You've taken that first trade, but you don't throw in the towel and just go home. You just get on with the bout. You get on with the fight.
Yeah,
and that's what Laura's now mastered. So it's fantastic to see that.
Absolutely, and moreover, like she's not getting greedy.
No.
She has expectations for it, and we're just talking like bottom of the range here.
Yeah.
And like if you go back and I really like that in this sense, Laura, is that if you look at this higher time frame in here, I think that's kind of is pretty choppy.
Yeah.
Like if maybe you're looking for like a small little kind of 1, 2, 3 up here, boy, I'd look for it to go. But after this really big move back up, and they're still moving it back up, you're kind of looking. You're looking for them to. Here's a lower high. You're looking for them to drop it now, and makes sense. And it didn't. This one just chopped around quite a bit. But hey, you grabbed some out. You've got a great. Yeah, you got a great setup, and you managed it really well, and you just move on to the next one.
Beautiful.
Hey, Bruce, if you don't mind me chiming in,
Sure.
if that's okay. Yeah, just to add on to your awesome content. I was just looking at Laura. She entered on her entry was on her number 3 break on her 1, 2, 3. And yeah, it looks like that was about 130, and that took it all the way down to about 110 on the Nasdaq. So that's a 20-point gain right over there. I don't know if she, that's a pretty decent amount. I also see the pullback over here in which she broke even. I guess my question is to Laura, what was your stop loss on that? I know you had it as a break even, but I don't know if you give yourself any play. The reason why I'm asking is because looks like your target was at VWAP, and that's almost a 50-point gain.
Yeah.
Right? Do I get that right? Because if it's at 3, it was at 1930 to about 9, so about 40 points. So I'm just wondering, you had a 10-point pullback from your entry, and now you're going to look to try to get 40 points. That's a pretty good 4-to-1 ratio. So I don't know I don't know if you use that at all in part of your strategy. So I was just curious about those 2 questions. But otherwise, yeah, I really like the setup, and yeah, so I was just curious what your thoughts are on that one. But outstanding discipline that you had.
Yeah, great points. Great point. Maybe Laura can pop in the chat. Can I contradict myself, please, Bruce? Can you go into the chat and dig up my ORB from today, David?
Sure.
If you can see it.
Yeah.
This is just to sort of show that it's, I know a lot of us now are using it as a key sort of tool, and it's not necessarily a one-off. So this is my time. Not that one. Above that one, Bruce.
Oh, okay.
No. So it's a ninja chart. That's one of Greg's.
This one?
Okay. No. One above it.
One above it.
Ninja.
This one. Got you.
So a ninja. Yeah. So the horizontal green lines is the 1 minute opening range bar. The vertical lines, red and green on the chart, are various algos that I run that help me. This is UK time, so 14:30 is the open. There's that scoot up that I was talking about when I was on about the left-hand side of the chart for Laura. The price prints at ORB. It then comes back down. It bounces off the lower part, which is a lovely trade to counter to go back up that I know Laura takes, it only just sneaks above the upper ORB then, and then it starts going down. It's just so many little scalps to be had around there. And then exactly where you are, Bruce, there, the price was not able to get back into the ORB. It was not able to get back in at sort of around about 10:30. It wasn't able to get back in, and then the rest of the day is down. So there's some lovely little tells on that, and the point I'm trying to show here is this is just a random chart, Bruce. It's not one I've selected from my textbook to show you. This is from today. So I know a lot of you have taken up ORB setups, but go and study, please. Right, let's get back to Bookmap, David, please.
Yeah, I mean, there's something that about the ORB, David, that I think well, there's a few different things, and I like I said, I kind of covered it in this video, but
Brilliant.
there you can put a lot of risk on these trades.
Yes.
Now, but however, the probability of them working out is pretty dang high. But this is something you can easily go back and mechanically back test. Like,
you can.
so that's the beauty of it. But again, like, now this is a 1 minute bar, or 1 minute period here. I know this is a tick chart, right? But a 1 minute period here, ORB, and it's still, you have to put this risk on here. I mean, basically your stop should be on the other side here.
That's it. And when you get that confluence with some of the gamma option levels, or there is within a POC or EMAs, VWAPs, and other things in that sort of thing, it stars aligning, and that just reduces the risk on that reversal, that 180 sort of trade off those levels. And as Sharp Blues answered, this is effective for 23 hours and 59 minutes. So even in the London frame for ETH, I'm looking at the New York ORB, and I'm also then mentally thinking of the London opening range as well.
Wow, no kidding. You're taking the New York ORB into the next session.
Until we
Asia,
get the 9:30 through Asia. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And exactly what you said. If you look back, and I've got ORB, I think, on every chart I've got. So even the longer time frames it shows, and you're right. You look back, and it's just surprising as to what an effective SNR level it can be and is.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Absolutely. Again, though, like there's quite a bit of risk. I mean, it depends on if it's 15 minute, you might be putting like a 50-point stop on it, or I don't know, whatever. So it takes it's not a freebie at all. One stop out might erase like 2 or 3 days worth of profits, but
yeah. Can I keep this chart up a minute and here we go, David, because when we get to JS pips, this is the point I mentioned last week regarding where you've got other charts using your screen real estate. Now, they might be like a naked chart, as we'll see with JS pips, Bruce, which is candles, brilliant, etc. This chart obviously is a lot more than that. There's a hell of a lot of dark arts going on this, as well as my book map. But what I'm trying to encourage everyone to do is, where you have got a more simple stick chart, experiment with adding in a couple of other sort of indicators. So if you look on this chart here, Bruce, from the open, I said when the price scoots up, I've got my red vertical line, which is a sell. Yeah, that's my Susanna Hoff's algo, as I call it. It's a shark thing. There's a lot of programming going on in the back, and that's saying it's time to sell. Below that, there's some stochastic going on. There's MACD. There's VWAP things. All of those along there are saying sell. All of them are saying to me, you should be looking to go short. So I look at that. I'm then looking at the order flow on Bookmap. I'm then looking at my spot gamma, my options, my hero. I'm just trying to lower my risk, increase my returns.
Yeah. And I mean, I can see you're coming from a downtrend anyway.
Yes.
From the averages here, but
yeah.
beauty. This is a beauty, David.
It's a beast. It's a beast. And the circles, the circles with the numbers in are large lot traders, individual large lot traders.
Ah,
So I can
okay.
see when we came back off that, we've got some, minus 170, minus 491 lot going through on a single trader.
Ah,
So no one's buying. So I should start to short.
yeah, yeah,
Is
yeah.
that
And moreover, like these kinds of got another video on for you guys, like a low volume pullback after this has already
Yes.
shown its hand, and you have
Mm.
I'm not sure if I'm reading the volume correctly in here, but it's a little bit of buy volume in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's not so much low volume, but it is a pullback, and it can't get back up above.
Yeah.
So if the sellers can start to pick up again, we can get the follow through. But
And within that middle subchart, so I know quite a few people have done the Wilshire. That's that double helix stochastic Laura, etc. et al. And that's just clipped the upper 80%. Anyway, we need a separate video on that one, Bruce. Should we get back to gears for Laura, if that's okay? We got another trade.
Sure.
Of hers, and I think this was through the London Open. If I get because we've got the CDT, we had the UK back on this date. We're still in the dark ages. We're still on winter time, and the US had gone on to summertime and so forth. Similar sort of setup. But what she's kindly sharing here, Bruce, on the left-hand side is a couple of cheeky trades. So that's the high-level chart. Yeah.
Okay.
Great. If we then come swiftly into the second chart, sorry, Lord, to scoot Bruce along here, and then we'll see a great checklist, etc., etc. What she's kindly sharing here, which we all love to see, on the left-hand side, is some regret of missed out. She's been swinging at the ball on the left-hand side in that sort of red oval, Bruce, where she's been slapped around a little bit on the trades. If I can put my Monday morning quarterback hat on there, Laura, what I would say is look at the volume you were trying to trade off. If you go down to those volume bars, it's not very exciting below that at 11:10. The volume's there, and then it just dies off, and you're swinging around on the right. Yeah, the right of that. So again, I know it's Monday morning, Bruce, but the volume was getting a little bit low on the right of what you're drawing when we're getting all very excited. So just maybe within your checklist, you say you're going to put in the Romo, but maybe you want to think about, just does the volume feel right? Is there enough volume to trade with and along? Okay, back to the trade then, Bruce. We've got the same thing. We've got a 1-2-3 pattern. This time Laura's leaning into the VPOC, and as I say, this is into the London close. So you've got that nice pickup into that London close. We saw that today. I think, Bruce, it was about 11:10 today. The market really went crazy upwards into the close. So yeah, not much else to add here. I'm going to throw the ball to Stan this time, if I please.
Yeah.
Great trading, Laura.
Yeah, exactly. That's great to see even like losses. Makes sense. You had your setup, your trades, you enter. Yeah. I don't have a lot to say. Maybe I don't know on the left how many trades you were willing to take in a row, for example, or I don't know if it was maybe a bit of over trading. And as David mentioned, it was against the volume.
Yeah, I think it's 3 there, I think.
So yeah, just wondering at this time if you.
We all do it, Laura. Don't worry.
Yeah, exactly.
Even old dogs like me still do that, Laura. Don't worry. And if I could get Trader HE on the mic, he'd say the same, wouldn't you, Trader HE?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But that's the main thing then I would say. I don't know, Vinny, if you have anything to add.
Yes. All right. A couple of things. For a second there, I thought we were going to start critiquing David's chart there. Before when you had yours up, and I was going to say, David, it was outstanding. I don't have anything to say about your trade. It was perfect. Otherwise, Laura, yes, here it is again. You have your 1, 2, 3 setup that you work on over and over again through repetition. So you're very familiar with your strategy. 1, 2, 3. You're entering right at your break over there, and you take it on down. I see you got a little. I don't know. You took some off, and I'm not sure if maybe some of your emotion got affected you a little bit, because I think your follow through here is perfect. You have your target set right where yeah, you have your target set over here. I'm actually kind of zooming in. Yeah, you have your target set right where you're hijacked by Romo. So I saw that, and yeah, so that's a nice. Looks like it's about 35 points. So you were right on target. That looks good. And again, I'm just curious about where you put your stop, just to give yourself some play, because typically you try to look for maybe a 2-to-1. So you have 35 points there at a minimum of 2-to-1. So you have 17 point stop. But otherwise, you follow through right to your target. You had your strategy in place. The structure was in place, and good job. Nice one again.
Brilliant commentary. Thank you, sir. Bruce, I'm throwing the ball again.
All right. Some questions, Laura, and so I'm my intent here is to not to be so critical, but to maybe like look at things and go, yeah, maybe I should, maybe there's some other ideas here. Because you're doing a really great job. Number one, and I don't know if Shark would agree with this or not, but it doesn't really look like a 1, 2, 3 pattern to me, unless it is the here. If this is 1, and then is this little one right here? Is that 2? So here's 1. And then here's the 2 right here, and then you're looking for the 3, and then you're getting in down here at the 3. I know you said you got rejected. You probably would have liked to have gotten in, maybe a bit further up. But yeah, just and that came to mind after I saw this. It was like, well, maybe you're kind of like Stan had mentioned, maybe you're over trading a little bit. You know that you recognize the regret of missing out. So maybe you're kind of maybe squinting at this a little bit, and thinking, I think that's my pattern. And then you're getting in here. There's actually it worked out great for you. And maybe I don't know, maybe this is the leg 2 or something. I don't know, but like here it has that risk for coming all the way back up or even breaching the top before coming back down and maybe doing something like that. But you nailed it. You got in here, and then you got out right at the break here. Which yeah, I don't know. I mean, I can kind of see it, I guess. A little bit of a wiggle in there. This looks kind of better to me, but that's a hard one to judge on the take profit. But anyway, just some nuances. Is this really your pattern? And then and that again was based off of this over here, and then secondly, like the take profits in here, and like Vinny had said, maybe you're 2-to-1 or ratio or whatever. I I don't know how you guys feel about it all, but like I'm kind of and I don't see a stop. That doesn't bother me too much. Like a lot of times, like I know it's messy, but a lot of times I'll just use like a mental stop to begin with, until I kind of know what I'm looking for or what I want, like how to manage it, and then else I just might just get out even before I would have a stop hit. If it was up here and I see like buyers charging in, coming back in, I'll just get out. But it depends. So anyway, I guess where I'm trying to drive to or drive at here is just building confidence, and you are doing that. And I think that's the most important part.
Yeah.
And build that confidence. Take your setups, recognize like this is great. You're recognizing, like, okay, maybe I missed out. Or maybe you got mad after a rejection here, and yeah, you say, but it wasn't considered, good trading. So this is really great. And then you're building this confidence along the way, even though it worked out. That can be deadly if it works out, because then you'll take it again and again and again, remembering that it worked out, and get hurt. So anyway, nice reflection, off of this, and build your confidence. Keep building, and looks great.
It does, doesn't it? It does.
Yeah,
It does,
yeah.
yeah. No,
And
very good. Great comments.
I have just one more question. Why on the right side you're using like a buy limit to exit, and it's true then we used to see then you're using buy stop to exit. So in this case, yeah, what was your stop? Because we can always see usually like your buy stop as a protection.
Maybe
But
it's
in this,
up here, Stan. Um, but Laura, I don't know if you.
yeah, right. But that was the main thing, because usually we don't see like buy limits, but as the buy stop, then it's lowering when we get close to target.
Yeah, good point. I mean, Laura, I mean, this is a really good trade to go over. I kind of feel. I don't know how you guys feel, but it's kind of rare that we'll have like you documented it well. It worked out well. It's kind of your setup, but you're also recognizing and reflecting off of it. This was more emotional, and if you look at this one compared to this one, I mean, this one is rational. Whoops. And you had your reasons for it, and you've got it, and you were able to be rational on a second entry as well. Whereas this one here, it doesn't. It seems less so. You're saying it right in the chat. I see it was more of emotional trade and luck that it worked out. But I guess it's a comment in general, to everybody, and my own trading, like when you start making emotional decisions, like that's how it starts to unwind, and then you lose your confidence, you get mad, you break things, whatever it might be, and it starts with it doesn't take much for it to unwind. So anyway, good reflection off of this, and really, really valuable to go over. I feel stuff like this. That's
Excellent. No, great comments, everyone. Thank you.
okay. So let's move on, and see what else do we got here.
So my next one is JS Pips, but I don't see him in the room. So maybe politely we can see if one of Stan's
Okay.
is
Let's do it.
Change again to that Stan, if that's all right.
I have Alanim.
Okay. Is he in here?
Sure.
Don't see. No. And let's see. Who else do you have?
The only one. The other one haven't posted anything in the spreadsheet.
Okay. Okay. Well, you know what we have. So why don't we flip over to Moby? Moby's just so good. He's got so diligent. So really, really appreciate it, Moby. He's in Western Australia and he's, snoozing now. So he
Like a
can't,
racehorse.
and thank God. Thank you so much, Moby. Really good stuff. And uh, we got John 412 here. We can go through and we got Trader HE, and I think Trader HE's in here as well. So we can go over both of these in here. Yeah, let's and then what MOC Trader as well. It looks like. Okay. So all right. So let's bring John up and let's go through John's trade here on on the 31st.
Hello there.
Hey, John, how are
Hello,
you?
John.
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you, Bruce?
A little under the weather, but
I hear you.
yeah,
I hear you.
yeah,
I feel you.
yeah, it's kicking my ass.
Yeah, sounds like it. Yeah.
uh, yeah, so you're back on crude oil here.
Well, during the day, I'm not comfortable with the risk with the ES. You saw what happened today. So I have been trading more in the after hours, and I've always traded crude oil to an extent because I think it's a great model. It seems to really respond to the liquidity levels. And so it's always a good way to kind of fine tune my order flow approach. I don't have levels. I don't have hero. I just have reading of the order flow and the heat map. And so, but when it forms up, when I see the liquidity levels and I see a trade, yeah, I've been getting up early and trying to get my work done before the headlines come out. Yeah, 'cause I'm looking for other ways to participate during the day, perhaps with spread options. But the futures are really. I took one today and it was great, but boy, there's a bit more risk there that I'm more than what I'm comfortable with. So yeah, I trade crude.
Yeah, yeah, makes sense. And you're finding that okay, stock indexes I know are very volatile to the news, but
Yeah.
crude and gold, crude less so, but I guess you're finding quite a bit less so.
I am. I'm not a fan of gold. I just never. I used to trade it a long time ago. In fact, when I traded it, it was below $400 an ounce. That's how
Wow.
long ago that was. But I just like the way crude works out. I'm able to get a pretty decent read off of it, and with Bookmap, and
Yeah.
so yeah, I just try to. I can't do very many. I can't trade like Scott Pulcini, who has 18 markets. I don't have the mental ability to do that, but I can really zone in on two.
Yeah.
And with the stock indexes, you're always looking at the SPY, the cubes, and a few other stocks. But yeah, I like crude oil. I do. Yeah. Yeah. And it has its moments during the course of the day and around news. But in the aftermarket or the pre-market, I find opportunities. And when I see them, yeah, I take them.
Yeah, yeah, great, great. Why don't you walk us through this one and what you saw here?
Okay. Well, I see new liquidities building above new liquidity levels. So I mark that as number one. And that's really the thing that drives the trade. Where's the liquidity? And exactly right in there. And so once I see that, well, then that gives me a destination to trade through. And then I start looking for entries. I always mark my VWAP. And then at the bottom, we have liquidity there, which the market challenged a couple of times and then started to bounce off of. And I came in with the large volume dot. So I joined the buyers down there. And I thought if I could get above that 69.47 where those other buyers were, right? Then I would be in pretty good shape. And I'm also getting in above where the net sellers were down there as well, just below where I have it. Right,
Yeah.
exactly. Right. So I see net sellers down there that failed to push down through liquidity. And CVD is building the whole time to the upside. We had this constant progression to the upside. So those factors, and with liquidity above, and building above,
What is that? Yeah.
I took my first target off at VWAP because it could very well turn back down from VWAP and hit that liquidity down there where I started. So that's a possibility. So if I take a partial target at VWAP, I can get paid. I can pull my stop in, and then I have a no risk proposition at that point. And then fortunately with the volume, and you see the large volume dots progress to the upside,
Yeah.
we could, we met our destination. In fact, I almost added at that point. I didn't in this instance, but I have started to do that. One of the great things about the community, and I really learned a lot. I think it was the week before last. In fact, Bruce, you were a little hesitant to say this to me, but it really made a big difference. And I've been trying to eyeball ways in which I could take a winning trade and add to it.
Nice. Nice.
Fantastic.
One of the things that I don't like about what I do is taking that partial profit, because you are kind of truncating your profits. And there's an argument against that. Now, me, I don't have a choice. I have to get paid in this. I don't have any other income streams. So it allows me to get that first one off. But I find that finding a way to add on sort of recaptures what I'm giving up at the onset. So I want to get my risk off as soon as possible. I want to protect the values of my account. And then once I have that and I have a little, I have a little profits made, well, let's see if I can use that and capitalize a bit more. Because the whole time this trade is progressing, we've got large dots. It's getting better all the time. So I'm looking for a way, as long as that liquidity is up there and we have volume adding in, that trade is actually better as it progresses than when I first started. So I'm looking to add there. Like I said, in this instance, I didn't, but that's what I'm working on. And I really appreciate your comments from that time, because it might be a way in which I can get some of those that I take, some of that profit potential that I take off. The trade-off is, removing the risk from the account, but that's what I've been working on. Yes.
Sounds good.
David, what do you got?
No, I love it, John. No, great to see this. I'll echo exactly what you say when you're trading. We're not trading ES, we're not trading NASDAQ, where we got all the other witches and black cats we're looking at to try and understand all those funny charts that I put up a moment ago, or Bruce put up for me.
Yeah.
With this, this is what you're looking at. This is mono. There's no stereo. You're just looking at this. You might have a news feed. The thing I see on this chart, and you see me sort of make comments about this, particularly on ES, is that where we've got the number 5 and the long, very quickly that sort of, whether I call it a 50-degree angle burn up, it's sort of machine led. You can put a ruler to that, and I love seeing that, because it's not that it's not discretional buying, trading going on there, but when I see that sort of solid line, I can put a ruler against my screen. It's like, yeah, okay, the algos are kicking in, the programs are kicking in, and they are taking this higher, and I do like to sort of see that as well, which is good. Yeah, and this is a nice time to trade oil, because it's coming into the oil open, isn't it? Sort of 9 a.m. if I'm looking at the chart correctly.
Yeah,
and you get some lovely moves ahead of that, where sort of things are positioning, don't you?
Yes, sure do. That's right, David.
Yeah, you really do. And what I'd suggest to traders who aren't trading oil, now, my line, Bruce, when I started doing this with you, this is a big boys contract, John, isn't it? CL, GC, they're big boys contracts. The margins aren't as generous as ES. So your brokers they do want a bit of blood literally off you to trade these. But the micro oil, I think, is fairly liquid. Last time I pulled up a chart on that as well. So, if you want to have a dabble on this, not you, John, but people in the academy, go and have a look at the micro oil futures. I don't know if they're quite a tenth, John, I don't know if they're quite like MES or MEQ, but certainly they're a lot smaller, the margin a lot smaller, and if you get on the wrong side, you're not necessarily going to lose a limb.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I'm not familiar with them at all. So
no,
I don't know
no.
what volume they put in, but I'm sure it's there. I'm sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's it. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Should we flick into Stan or Vinny then, please, Bruce?
Sure. This is Vinny.
Excellent, sir.
John.
Brilliant, sir. Let's talk
John,
about crack.
awesome.
Let's talk oil.
Yes, awesome. Awesome trade there, John. Again, you roll these trades out with 1, 2, 3. But yeah, I like the way your 830 trade is at. You have your liquid support that was tested a third time. I see your target again for VWAP, and then you also use your target number 2 for the liquidity, which is outstanding. So that's a great trade that you had at 830. And I was just wondering, a little earlier, I see it's 730 here. You might have been able to have a second trade here because this was also tested at your liquid, and you had your CVD at an extreme over there. So you might have been able to get 2 trades out of this. This could have been the initial one at 730 with the liquidity and your CVD signal asset to your VWAP, and then you could have came in a second time, and then you could have gotten it maybe at 830 again and maybe doubled it. So other than that, that's the only thing that I really see. You have your stop in place, perfect, good risk reward ratio, and another one you rolled out, outstanding. Good job.
So with respect to your comment, at 730, the condition for getting long wasn't satisfied. There's no liquidity above that's going to cause me to want to get long there. Right? See how I have it circled at number 1, Vinny? That new liquidity up there defines the target for me. So without it, I don't have a trade.
Understood. Yeah. What about your VWAP? Could you have taken a small trade at 730, even though you don't have the liquidity above?
No, because I don't have anything drawing above. In fact, I have a little bit of liquidity up there, but it just doesn't. No, I'm looking for those overwhelming that imbalance. I guess that's the best way to put it. Where I have that rectangle at number 1, that creates an imbalance right now. Earlier, really the imbalance is to the downside. It still exists down there at 69.40 or so. Right. So unless and until that liquidity comes in above, it shifts the imbalance to the upside. And that causes me to be interested in getting long. Exactly what Bruce is illustrating there. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, for me, I might have taken a shot at it over there because I would have had my stop in place and it would have been a pretty good risk reward ratio. But you have your reasons as well, and they're definitely justified. And you're a rock with these trades. So nice going.
Thank you.
Stan, jump in.
Yeah. But very, very strong work as usual. I'm just wondering why in this case for the crude you're using delta dots and not the total volume than you used to do, or if you.
Yeah, these are delta dots. You switched over to delta dots.
I've switched over, Stan, and that was some time ago. Yes, sir. Bruce was showing it, and I researched it. In fact, over the holidays. So since the beginning of the year, I've actually made a switch. For a minute there, I had to look closely. I was like, "Dear Lord, did I make a mistake?" So no, I've been using the delta dots. Yeah, it seems to clarify a bit, and it lines up well with the volume bars, as well as the delta columns. So it synchronizes 3 ways for me. I love it.
Yeah, and that's perfect. I think that's so great, and we can see it so much better than before.
Yes.
For my personal view, much clearer.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
John, this is I'm envious here. I've been looking for really nice range bound trades for this course, and I mean, here it is, and like, I guess maybe I was looking for a little bit bigger, a little higher time frame, but like, this is a beauty, and by all the things that you had recognized in here, and I'm in very much in agreement. I was about to ask, like, why didn't you? Because this liquidity showed up later. Like, here's Laura's 1, 2, 3, you know,
Mhm.
clearly, and there's beautiful uh, exhaustion here.
Mhm.
And you got your target down here, no
Mhm.
question.
Mhm.
So you know, this could be a short down into this area, if these buyers can get some or sellers can get some traction here. um, and I guess you got your VWAP, you got to get maybe through that, but at least
Mhm.
you could trade it down to VWAP
Mhm.
as well. um, love I love the fact, I really love it, that like this liquidity is uh, number one on your list,
Mhm.
and it's like, okay, this is there, you're starting to understand, like, they're kind of telegraphing to you, these traders, like, hey, I'm up here, you know, come get me, and if you want to, you know, trade with me, you want to sell, um, or you know, you want to cover, or you know, I'll sell to you up here, and they go right to it, and the beauty in the range here is, like you said, I mean, this is all buying, very little selling, and all buying again. You're getting in, take half off here, uh, and exit up here. Um, I would, I again, it made me nervous, about the um, adding part, because this is not adding in my book, in the way I kind of look at it. It this I dug up your old trade, actually, so that we covered. This is very different than this. Here, you got in here, and then you sat through this 10 minutes of this back and forth. Whereas
Right.
here, it's starting to tell you something different. Like,
Yeah.
look at the volume picking up here, right?
Mhm.
And that's where it's like, okay, now I can add.
And that's why I didn't on this crude oil change.
Excellent,
Exactly.
excellent. Okay,
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
because this trade, it made me nervous. It's like, oh, no, there's not an add here.
There really isn't. No, I'm looking for it. I'm anticipating it, and I didn't pull the trigger, but I was hoping when I was hoping for more volume to come in, and
Yeah,
I'm like, I'm going to nail this,
yeah.
and it just didn't. No.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, it's this is more range bound. I mean, heck,
Yeah.
it might have busted through, might have gone up to $70.
Could have been.
But
Yeah.
in this here, uh, you nailed it. In a beautiful range trade here.
You
Um,
know, go ahead.
that's all I have.
Brent had a webinar yesterday where he presented his new tools in Spot Gamma, and he gave this a little analogy, and I thought about Bookmap. He said that if you're an ice hockey player, they train those players to skate to the puck. That's where the action is. That's where the game is. You skate to the puck.
Yeah.
With Bookmap, liquidity is the puck.
Yes.
Mm.
So that, going back to what Vinny was asking me, why I didn't take that long, it's not,
No puck.
the target's not there. There's no puck.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah,
Love it, John.
I really appreciate Vinny's comment.
Mhm.
But you have
Oh, that's how you learn.
you have your reason for it,
Mhm.
and this is what you're looking for. I can kind of see. I mean, I can kind of see this, like, you know, the volume here. You got the, you know, the volume on the buy side picking up. It looks like it, you know, and then it's just this back and forth in here. Kind of hard to read this versus this, and but then it builds in here, and you got your target up here,
Yep.
and now you're just looking for this, and you got your trap here as
Yep.
well.
Yes.
So you got a lot of nice things telling you, like, hey, it should at least get up to here or up to
Mhm.
here,
Right.
and just go with it.
Yep.
Yeah, beauty.
Yep.
Uh,
And the risk to reward is there. I mean, you know you're wrong. If that liquidity down at the bottom is violated, you're out. And that's why my stop is so close.
Got you.
I'm not going to wait for the liquidity below. If it takes out, really, if it takes out that high volume dot, I'm gone.
Got you.
Where I got in.
Yeah.
That I'm looking for that push.
How often does that happen to you?
Not a lot. In this
Wow.
not in this circumstance, really not a lot, because of the trap that's laid there with the sellers and then the buyers coming in. That's a very that's a great 1-2 punch.
Yeah. Yeah. Beauty. So well done.
Thanks.
So guys, any other comments on this one?
None for me, thanks. Great trade, John.
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay. We got another one on CL. So let's take a look. Okay. All right. So this is a little different. No, I'm sorry. You did short it too. Okay. So you went long and short.
Yeah.
Okay.
Long and short. Sure did.
Yeah. Okay. That's you're gonna have to walk us through this.
Yeah. Okay. Well, getting long is similar. It's the same precept as before. You have an imbalance of liquidity, which is number one for me, where I'm noting new liquidity above, where I have box number 1 up there. Right. Exactly. That sets it up. That causes me to be interested. Then I also have liquidity marking my first target. Right. I'm working off of VWAP. I have a volume. I have some buyers coming in, and I join those buyers above VWAP. My stop was closely behind liquidity and VWAP, and I'm looking for that first target. But for the most part, the most important thing is I'm looking to visit that liquidity that's being posted above. I mean, it's layer after layer of liquidity. There is a net, and you can't see it on this chart below, but there was no liquidity to the downside. The imbalance of liquidity was to the upside with that cluster, and my ambition was to visit that.
Yeah. Nice. So after first target, you just held it.
Yeah. I mean, I pull my stop up behind VWAP, but I give it a little room. But that liquidity was there, and it was staying in there as that trade progressed. It stayed in there until it reached the area and filled it.
Yeah. Great read.
So now when we get up there, we begin to fill all that liquidity, and then we fall short of taking it out, right? And that lays a trap up there as well, right? Just to the right of where you just drew that rectangle. There you go. Exactly, right? They pushed, and then they couldn't get there to that fat liquidity was up there. So I sold it with that large volume of sellers there, right where I have my short entry. My stop is just above it, and I'm going to come down to the first liquidity level, and I'm going to take it down to my VWAP. And on this trade, it went south from there $1. I mean, it just fell off. But that wasn't my trade, and the reason for that, and the reason for my exit at VWAP, is I still had that liquidity up there that wasn't filled. That could have very well, hooked long from VWAP and went up there and got that liquidity. So as long as that liquidity was up there, I'm going to be quick to take my profits at VWAP, because I would anticipate that that's a very good possibility that we could turn at VWAP and go get that liquidity up there that was left.
Yeah, makes good sense.
Between the two trades, it's a nice profit. Both of them had a great risk to reward, and yeah, all be done before the pre-market, and quite pleased with that. That's exactly what I look for. Again, liquidity drives my the precepts for my trade.
David, please.
Love it, John. Love the trade. I mean, that's just, your entry is just outstanding at 4. Wow, off that VWAP. I can't quite see how the volume is picking up before. When I sitting at the screen there, Bruce, if I say I would be getting in where it says stop, so I'd be looking for a little bit more volume. But that is respect. That's a respect. That's a lovely trade. And you say you've just got at number one, you've got that liquidity is building, it's staying there, etc., etc. The short, yeah, you're a boxing fella. You were dancing on your feet. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
stinging like a butterfly.
I need to be done before the open. So yeah, a little bit more aggressive in there, but yeah. And that's the thing. One trade builds off the other. I had a little
It
money in the
does.
account now,
Yeah.
so I can be a little bit more adventurous, right? And just take a little
Yes.
bit and with a very quick stop in place. I mean, I'm gonna know if that's
You
going to
are.
work or
Yeah.
not pretty
Yeah.
quick. And that's the focus of my work. I want to, I want to get in, I want to get on my way.
Exactly.
Nothing worse than just sitting there languishing in a range. I won't do it. I'll just
You
get
don't
out.
do that, no. And you're
No.
really clear in Discord when you're done. You're saying, right, guys, I'm going. Goodbye. Enjoy
Yeah.
the day. I love
Good.
it. I love
Yeah.
it.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
No, it's really good, really good.
I
So
think
the
so.
short, I'm not. Maybe it's because it's got the checklist in the way, so maybe the volume bars. But looking at the volume dots, look fairly skinny as well. So it's like a fade. It's gone up there and then it starts to fade back down. But
Yeah.
often it's the action that you're seeing on the screen that really gives you the intuition rather than a screenshot. I know that.
But collectively together, that's where that delta column comes into so much. I mean, you couldn't see
Okay.
that just with the dots on the bookmap chart, but when on the
Yeah.
volume column, the delta, you can see that there was a lot of net buyers. I mean, with that much, that really should have went right
Should have.
through that like butter, but it didn't.
It didn't.
It
No.
didn't. So if you went long up there, David, how much would it take for you to want to get out? About where I entered,
Yes, that'd be
and that's what I was
brutal, wouldn't
counting
it?
on. That's really
Yeah.
what I was counting on. That's the things that I
Yeah.
look for. Where are the stops here?
Yes. When they're going to start bailing.
Yeah.
For sure. I love it, John. Absolutely. Yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Vinny, sir.
Yes, it's Vinny. Yes, nice going, champ. All right, nice trade over here. I was actually pulled it up and looked at the pre-market on this trade, and I noticed that you had some higher lows is where your entry was, which is really really good. And then you followed it up through your passive orders being absorbed, and you hit the high of the day at the pre-market, and that's right where the liquidity is.
Mhm.
And you don't show it on the screen here, but if you backed up a little further, I believe that you would see that would happen a couple hours earlier. So you not only did you use the liquidity, but you also lined it up with the high of the day during the pre-market. So that was really outstanding. I don't know if you used that as a target as well, but I mean, you had the liquidity set, and you did it again. Your CBD at the bottom of your subchart is also at an extreme there, which was another asset that you could have applied to take this long. But yeah, other than that, terrific. You did it again, champ. Way to go.
Thank you, sir. Okay.
Stan.
Ball to Stan. Yeah.
Yeah, but not a lot to add. Yeah, I like the short in the microstructure when it's just break it, and yeah, just as David mentioned, the board that hide a bit the relative volume. Good to see like the drop buyers or on the. I don't know if it's session volume profile on the right with the delta or if it's CVP.
Session.
For the
This
delta?
Yeah.
No, that's the demo. Yeah, that one.
the delta. I think it's hard to see. Is it session or is it the chart range?
Chart range.
Chart range. Okay.
Yeah,
range.
right. Yeah,
Chart range.
perfect.
Yeah.
So
I
yeah,
thought you meant the last one. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, great to see it. Yeah, target makes sense. Front of liquidity, add VU up, key level. You had your plan. I think yeah, you had every key. That's great.
Thank you. And the other thing with the current order book, the middle column, you see that there's fairly large block trades up there of liquidity.
The
Yeah.
large lot tracker, the little white line here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's
yeah.
showing some block orders, and that was one of the reasons why I thought, well, let me take it, put my target at VWAP, because that's another reason. You had those large traders up there wanting to engage and trade, which caused me to place my target there and get out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sense.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, John, I just, Bruce, if you don't mind, yeah, John, do you use the pre-market highs at all as an asset with your trading? Because in this instance, that might have been another good target that you can reference as well with your trade here along with the liquidity.
It is, and I use the bar charts, and similar to what Bruce often demonstrates in his webinars. You bring them up, and you just get an idea of where the market has been, and where you are in respect to those limits. But really, what determines my trade and my decision making is what you see on this chart. I'm aware of those, Vinny, but that's about really the extent of it. I'm aware of where we are and where we've been, but they're not hard limits for me, the overnight high and low and that kind of stuff. Unless there's liquidity there, then it makes a difference for me. But it's the liquidity levels that rule in this market in crude oil. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
let's see. Had I had a couple comments for you. Yeah, I didn't understand, or I didn't quite see the figure and that large liquidity that you outlined here. And then you said your reason for getting out here, that totally made sense after. It's like, right, it never traded this. And you were looking for that, especially because you got some larger players there,
Yeah.
and they're still waiting there.
Yeah.
And makes good sense. The that happened to us in the webinar the other day. Like, I don't know, I think it was at 5,600 or something in the S&P, and I never traded it. And I was like, okay, yeah, I see the buyers coming in, the aggressors moving it away, but I'm still looking for that to trade, and it never did.
Yep.
It just kept grinding higher, and and missed it, and there was a bias on my side, but anyway.
And that's where I got that, Bruce, watching you do it. Promise.
Well
Yeah.
done, Bruce.
Good.
Yeah. I mean, learn from my mistakes. Exactly.
Not a mistake. I mean, that liquidity up there is very real,
Yeah.
and you have to pay attention to it.
Yeah.
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 Or it'll make you wish you did.
I love seeing the both sides. Like David had said, like hey, it's telling me something. I'm going to take a shot at it, and as long as and you're you've grown your account, you feel a little more liberal to do that, but you still have a setup.
Yeah.
You still have a higher time frame level. You're still looking for things in here, and you managed it. This was I really like the way you managed it down here, even though it went like $1. You said the other way,
Oh yeah.
it could have, and based on your experience, it is most likely to come back up here. And it's like, okay, well, I'm in. I'm looking for this. I'm out. I'll look for the next setup.
Yeah.
And makes great sense. I think I don't know if it was David or Vinny had said, like, this is a beauty up here. Like, it's hard to see. Like, you kind of you hid some of the volume in here. It's really nice though. So what we've got on the way up here, all of this getting filled, except for the highest level up here, and then so we've got a lot of absorption, no question, and then we got exhaustion up here. And you got sellers coming in on the other side.
Yep.
Like, it just, you've got absorption followed by exhaustion. It's something to look for again and again and again, because even though it might even come back down to this swing, and then all of a sudden you might find huge buying coming in again. Here, at least you could have gotten in at least a break even or maybe a little bit of profit. And you never know. But I don't know. I love seeing that absorption followed by exhaustion. And it's a great kind of double top
Yep.
combo to see.
Mhm.
That's everything I have.
Yeah, Bruce, I just want to chime in once more, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Yeah. Just to go back to the pre-market again, I don't want to keep harping on this, but it's something you had mentioned earlier at the onset about supply and demand. Typically, what one can use is the pre-market highs, and you can use it as a supply area. And this particular case with the CLs, it actually moved up into that area for a for possible target to exit as well. So I just wanted to toss that in there as another asset.
As a target up right in front or at the 72 level up here?
Correct. I'll go ahead and make a screen capture and put it in the chat for everybody.
Okay, great. Thanks, Vinny. All right, let's move on here. And let's see if anyone, J Pips, has come back in the room, or anybody else. Oh no, we have HE, Trader HE. Oh yeah. So this is a first, HE. Welcome up to the stage, sir. And
Greetings.
hey, how are you?
Hey, I'm alive. Shame on you guys making Bruce talk. He's about to die like any second. You don't hear him? You guys are brutal. Dave.
I sound worse than I feel, but like anyway.
Oh man. Dave, long time.
Karaoke. It's been a long time, H. You keeping well, buddy?
Man. I'm still alive, man.
That's
still
good.
Alive. I haven't broken the bank yet, but I'm still alive. Still working on it.
You're getting there. So if I share some context to other people that HE, Tom, and me, when Bruce, I'm going to say 2019 or 2020, Bruce. You must look at when it was. You sort of found
earlier than that. It was before 2020,
on Twitter.
2018.
Okay.
Yeah, 2018. It's been a minute.
And we used to have these regular catch-up calls. We were going to try and talk about trading. We used to talk about other things, but that's the history, right. Bruce, wasn't it?
Yeah. That was the original Bookmap Academy.
18, bloody.
That's right. All you young bucks. That's just before we had a Discord. As a matter of fact,
yeah.
if you're on the line, you guys don't know how lucky you are, because this doesn't really exist anywhere. This doesn't exist anywhere. I'm going to be celebrating 20 years of doing this crazy business this year.
Wow.
And I've been through all of the snake oil salesmen, all of the slimy dudes and teachers and gurus and black boxes and chat rooms. There's nothing that I've come across like this.
Great.
Nothing.
Great.
In all of that time. So you got, I've traded all the periodicities, minute bars, volume bars, Renko bars, on and on until, what was it that came out? Who are these guys that came out and they were pushing the order book stuff?
Okay.
What are their names? Anyway, Bookmap came out like right alongside, right after it, and to be able to read the real-time volume and see the historic piece, that was a game changer. So you guys are lucky if you're in here. You don't realize it, but
yeah,
it was just a small pirate team of traders here, and we were learning this stuff. And Bruce has spoken enough teaching us. So you guys gotta let the other team speak now. Okay, what do you got? What do you got for me?
First off, I gotta tell you, and I put it into the chat. I think there for you, HE. The Moby's Notion file.
Okay.
And please go through it, because like Moby, look what he does. He does this every week, and he's looking at this. He's giving
thorough.
really good, thorough, positive, feedback. So I haven't read through it. I'm not really quite giving it a justification.
I'll check it out
here. So since we got you on the mic, we're just going to let you go through it, and then probably Moby, read through.
I was
Moby's
interested
comments.
to hear. Moby and I chat every night and every pre-market. He's over on the other side of the pond, way over on the other side from us, right?
Yeah.
And we'll chat because he'll figure out if ETH is working. So we chop it up. I was interested to see what he had to say.
Nice.
But sure, which one do you want to pull up?
Well, we'll start with this one here, and this was let's see in here. You saw sellers sweeping the book, and then sellers prior range tested down here. Then you're getting
one of my
shorted
great
here,
losses.
and
That's
then,
one of the great losses of all time. Yeah, I have the best losses. No one has blown up more accounts than myself. So
you. Yeah.
That's right. So my charts are simplified. I mean, there's a pro trader that said traders fail because they're looking at too much info, not too little. You know, total blindness to all but my chart, my plan, my 3 setups, my post-entry process. Less is more. Famous pro trader said that. And let me expand. So as you can see, this particular, what was the day?
Let's see.
Okay, so all right. Okay, so we're going into
31st here.
31st. Let me see if I could pull up any more intel. You look from the time of the day.
Does he say here?
Yeah, it's around. It was going into London close.
Okay.
31st.
So around 11 o'clock.
Right. Oh yeah. On the 31st. So we had a gap and go that day. It started out that way. So we pulled back to where's okay, so we had pulled back to a level. Less is more. So I made that reference because there's a lot that I had on the side. I had all of the cloud nodes, custom nodes, you know, all the add-ons, all the bells and whistles, and it's just simplified. Why? The liquidity is everything, as Scott would say. You know, volume events move the market. As Bruce would say, you know, front run your liquidity, right? So if you're watching your basic levels and you're keeping an eye on where the liquidity is going to be maintained. One of the terms I use in my post, if anyone's been watching, is truer levels. What's a truer level? Truer. A truer level is a liquidity that's above a certain threshold that has been in the book for a longer period of time than the others. Anything from the open, from the overnight, going to the previous day. That's steady and will not fade as you approach it. Those tend to be the more serious, higher time frame participants looking to transact. So I'm always keeping that in mind to watch how it forms. And the other ones that come up, the Johnny come lately, you know, I call those candy. Sometimes they're in reach, but they could be snatched away from you, right? So we know that price could continue to move through those levels onto a truer level. So a level may be true, but then there's a level that's truer. It's going to be more solid. The other component to the true level is that it's within range, AVR, annualized volatility range. So I plot those every pre-market or homework to look at what the previous was and if we're expanding or dropping in range. And then I'm checking, of course, the puts and calls to see where there's some strength that align up with the true levels that are in the book. So here it is now. It's the IB's closed, right? We're coming up to this deep period. You see this book sweep, right? Yeah. That first sellers on the book. If you see that move down and all the way back up, that's all sellers, right? That line that I have drawn right there, horizontal, that's like a support, potentially turning resistance. So price moves back up, it gets above the century figure there, drops that down below the 595. It goes up and it tests it, and then we have this strong move into the midst of that sweep. When it comes back up, and it's just hitting it. It's hitting. It's hitting. I'm waiting for it to break. It breaks it finally. There it is. Comes down. I'm watching it. Boom. As soon as I pull the trigger, instant red, right? Instant negative. It goes back up, back over that so-called resistance, and it takes out the century figure and it takes out the previous high. So here where Bruce just drew that line, right? That is where my stop out occurs, right above there. I held on to it, and that was actually the better entry. So you can see on the notation, right? Of course, that move works out because we get a push down below it, retest that resistance again, and then the drop, right? If you go back up to the so we get the break. You see that first break?
Mm-hmm.
That first break, you see that red? See, that's a big seller right there, right? Kind of big relative to what's been going on. Pulls back up, tests it, right? If you look in the SVP column, you'll see that there was some buyers there. So it's, they've tried, but they failed for now, right? Because this day ended up moving back up. So the follow through comes right after that, right? And the intended targets were hit. There's a decent level there at 570 and definitely down there at the 557. And this is where the larger buyers start stepping in. And you can see that those buyers dominate everything that we could see here on the chart. Everything that was below the 567. Right? And you got that ladder right below there in the 550s.
Right.
And they come in heavy at the 572, and it's strong, right? So that's all after the fact. I didn't make it to get back in on this trade. I took the L, and I participated I think later on in the day.
Yeah, I'm gonna listen to others before I comment. So I don't know, David or Vinny, anyone have any comments here? I'm. It's a little hard for me to read right now, but or I can go first. I just thought.
I can take a stab at it if you want.
Okay,
Go on, Vinny.
Jump in there.
Go,
Vinny.
Vinny.
I'll be the guinea pig with royalty over here with Trader H. So I don't know. I'm stepping up to the plate over here. I'm battering up. So,
Yeah. Right behind you. Don't worry.
I got stacks of winners and losers in there, so it's all good. Just let me have it.
Easy on me now. Easy. All right. Hey, Trader RH, I love this chart. The chart that you have up here is like super awesome. I mean, I can see your attempt to short right over here, and then sometimes when I'm kind of looking at it visually, I almost see an inverse head and shoulders here. It could be.
Yeah, you see that? Right? I was going to mention. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you see it too, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
So there you go. So when I see that, I'm like, okay. And then you hit it right on the target right over here. As far as it breaks, breaks that from support that turned now into resistance. So after the inverse head and shoulders popped up, it came back down. It's like you described it perfectly. It came back down and then it retested your resistance. And that's where you could have went ahead and shorted. Okay, a little bit to the right, Bruce. Right there, you got it. So that right there. Yeah. So everything that you said, and then you also have your target set with your liquidity. So you saw it. So even though you had this as a short, you could have set your stop above that resistance, which turned into support. And so you would have just had a minor loss. But then you could have got back in. Now I don't know if you got back in over here with that retest, but if you did,
I let this one go. If you look down, you'll see that this is only the span of like 3 minutes.
3 minutes, right.
From my short to the real short, from the failed short to the real short. Yeah, it was about 3 minutes.
Okay.
I sat out. I was like, let me see what it's gonna do, and I just sat there shaking my head like, okay, thanks.
Hey, we live and we learn, right?
Right.
Hey, it's happened to me too. So the biggest picture that you have right now, it's like a puzzle, right? You got to just put the pieces together. But you already saw half of it because You identified it. Now it's just putting the pieces together, into the puzzle. But bravo, excellent chart. I really like it. Good going, my friend.
I mean, by 11:03, after that second test, I was like, "See, there you go. All right, thanks a lot. Let's see how this day is gonna work out."
Let's see how it's gonna work out, right?
Yeah. Because I believe I had a trade earlier during period A, and it moved up after this. I'm trying to remember how it went. It moved up after this, and I might have participated later on in the day. But this was I figure it's best to include the losers. We have to take a look at what we're seeing and how we see it, right or wrong, right? So there's one measure of your trades as far as if you wanted to quickly log your trade in quality, T1 through T4. So T1 is you followed your rules, right? Good setup, and it was a successful trade. It's a winner. That's a T1. You followed your rules, you were seeing a good setup, and you take a loss. That's a T2. That's fine. T3, you've broken your rules, or the setup was a little shaky, and you get a winning trade. That's the one that you have to be aware of, because they can foster bad habits. Definitely. So T3 is a bad. So next is T4. You didn't follow the rules. The setup was bad, and you lost, right? Yeah. So you want to log what each trade is like. So I call this a T2. I mean, I was a minute and a half early, right? Maybe, I mean, it was a better call on that high above the century figure, but I was really focusing on that support resistance line. Yeah. And it was just premature. I mean, on another day that could have worked. I'm not ashamed of the trade.
You did great. I mean, I really like it, and I'm taking notes. So nice job.
Thank you. But the point is that sweep down there, and how you can see it's all sellers.
Yes.
They found, I mean, they got pushed back, but my guess was that it's going to be tested again thoroughly. And that reverse head and shoulders, I didn't think that was enough of a test. So that's why after we broke the resistance, I got in with some confirmation. If you could look, you could see, going right through it, we could see that the sellers were coming back in. It thinned out a little bit, and I just happened to catch it at, I caught it too late. It was right there. I caught maybe a point, point and a half before it turned around on me. And I was like, no way. And I just held it. I always have a hard stop and a mental stop.
Yeah.
So I ended up taking the full stop on that one. I was in disbelief. I just, we get caught up in our trades, what we see and we believe in our biases. And, that's what we have to learn how to shake out every day. Yeah. In this case, I was wrong on my timing, but I was right on where the test would occur. Right. I think I had, there might have been some call activity that was above and some puts to be tested below, where I really wanted to stay in there beyond that sweep level. But that's it, Let's go on to the next losing trade.
I don't know,
Stan
or David,
no, Bruce, yeah.
Do you have any? You guys have any comments?
Go on, Stan.
Yeah, great. No, it's a great trade. The only comment that I will have is that I don't see any sellers where you're starting. Everything makes sense. I don't see the cluster, for example, or the relative volume to look for. But after you have your setup, I mean, everything.
If you look, Stan, what I was looking at, of course, the first sweep was the first consideration.
Yeah,
and
obviously.
If you look in the head and shoulders to the left, there's that one big seller. No, come over to the right a little bit. To the right. More. Go up there on the left hand side of that, right there. So that's right in the 590, somewhere around there. And we have sellers above my entry. So I believe that they were going to kick in right about there. It got thin, but I believe that they were going to kick in. There was, I'm looking at information on other charts too. And
yeah. And why not waiting for them to come in at that level, the level then you are looking for sellers maybe to engage, to give you the confidence to follow the.
It would have been, yeah, you're right. I mean, it would have been much better if they were heavier that whole way coming back through with the chop of the day. I mean, look at how thin, when they move down to the targets, look at how thin it is right there. You see that?
Yeah.
Right at 1104, at 1104, no. Yeah, look at that whole line coming down. See how thin it got at the top of that line? Where it goes up to 587? That's very thin in there, that volume.
Yeah, true.
And that was kind of like the nature of the day.
Yeah.
So I got overly hooked on that previous sweep and the targets below as like the cleanup.
Yeah.
And that was just too early. That was too early.
I mean, when I look at it, and again, it's Monday morning quarterback sort of stuff, I'm afraid, AG, is that where you've got the short there and the seller's prior ranging tested, I'm seeing a sort of a higher low print coming through. You know, I've got the higher highs and the higher lows coming in. You know, okay, I've got the benefit of the right-hand side of the chart, but that's what I'm sort of seeing when I'm looking at it. I appreciate the resistance that you printed, but it's that sort of, and in my mind, you had it. You're talking about it. We're all talking about it. It's that sort of London close. So I'm thinking, okay, with that bias towards the long, are they now going to try and scoot this up 100 points into the London close? But I also, as everyone's saying in the chat, you know, we all follow the sharp logic you've got for taking the short, as you say, and I love that trading, that grading system. It's fantastic. That really is a great one. We need to put that in the checklist, Bruce, please.
Yeah,
you want to trademark that.
I like it too. The T1 through 4, you know, makes good sense and a good thing to document for sure in
Oh yeah, when you look back, then you know, as long as you're honest.
Yeah,
it's like, okay, I was a freakazoid that day. What was I thinking? Like T3, T4, T4, T3.
Yeah. Well, I have a hard time reading this for a number of reasons. Like first off, like you had noted, this is really small time frame. So we're really talking about, and this is a very volatile instrument, especially you know, as of lately. So a lot of these moves can be, you know, they can
highly deceptive.
They can be kind of random. One thing that, and it resonates with me, what John had written in there about liquidity levels here at 05 here, and then also at the figure. So the one thing, and I've just noticed this with NQ before all of this, you know, tariff stuff. That it would, the NQ would trade up to high liquidity, and then usually you'd get your turnaround right back down after hitting high liquidity. And now the ES is acting like that because of the volatility. My God, just go look at yesterday's close, and you know, it came all the way up to, you know, well, high liquidity in the afternoon, and then it started to reverse, but it was like a V. You know, up to it and then right back down, that's how the NQ is usually trading, not the ES. But so yeah, a little hard to read because of that. Also, I find it hard to read. Now, this is your style. You're looking at like price structure. Some of the volume is in here. You've got it pretty filtered, and your heat map is pretty filtered too. So I mean, I have a hard time reading the volume in the dots here. Like, is there really follow through like in this move here? And I see this one here, and I see the tiny one down here, and I don't see much. It's not my style. I know that you said, I heard you. You're looking for simpler the better, and what works for you. Um, I I have a hard time reading it because of the context. I look for the context of the liquidity and the volume. So if this liquidity is going to be up in here, I'm looking for buyers to start charging toward it, and I can't even see that in here. I
But
see.
if you notice something, if you notice the move into those two liquidity levels, we're the buyers.
Yeah,
There's more sellers. I mean, it's very
I can't
faint,
see
but
them.
it's
I mean, I see some
exactly
here and I see some down here. That's about it.
minority, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's mostly sellers in that whole region.
Yeah, I mean, I lean on the volume bars too, to be honest.
Hmm.
I love the dots because you have the context of where, but it's sometimes hard to see the.
Oh, let
Um,
me. Oh, I didn't say something, Bruce. I should have said in the beginning. My volume dots are filtered out at 3 and greater,
okay,
so I'm not. It's not plotting, twos and ones. Right?
the smaller trades.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Okay. So yeah, it looks like it's filtered. And yeah, it is harder for me to read. But heck, I mean, it can be. I know other traders do extremely well with exactly this kind of setup like you have, but they're looking at price structure and liquidity. And then volume, they just want to see a little bit, or they want to see the majority. Like if it traded up into here, and then they saw maybe some selling on the other side in here, like bigger dots, then then they're looking for it to go back down. I have a hard time reading it, HE, to be honest.
But
That's
is it due to the filter?
I think
Because
so,
I
and
mean,
it's just they're small. I mean, it almost looks to me like this is like a half-hour chart or something, like there's several hours of data in here, you know.
it's just a few minutes.
But it's only a few
I got you.
minutes, so
Right, right.
I'm kind of a little confused by the way you got it set up.
So I didn't mention my level of insanity for trading NQ over the years, which I think I
Good
need to be
lad.
tested. I think I need some kind of test, because this is all happening very fast.
Yeah.
And I do have an IRT chart open.
Got you.
I do have Thinkorswim open.
Got you.
And I'll watch to see what my liquidity is, and I'll really kind of drill down to my Bookmap when it's closest to execution.
Okay. Got you.
So
this was
yeah.
an important level on the higher time frame then. I mean, obviously we got the figure, that's going to be important, but
Yeah.
but so
yeah, there is other information that I was looking at that's not shown here.
Got you. Okay, so this is like now you're drilling in, now you're going to execute. Okay. And that's important to know because I don't know, like for others out there who I don't know if Rob Davis is in here. He might have been in earlier. No, he's not in now. But he was doing so well, and I think a lot of it had to do with him zooming out, and he was looking at his options levels. So he had to wait. He had to wait for a higher time frame level, and then he's looking for his order flow within that. And I think you just have such better probability if you do that. So yeah.
So that's one of the things that's missing from my notation.
That you were
some
looking
of the
at
other things that
your
I might
higher
be,
time frame.
Yeah, and levels and how those things are working out. Absolutely.
Yeah, got you. Okay. Let's see.
There's another chart.
Yeah.
Or did everyone else that line up take my shots? Get up against that wall, son.
Why don't you pick one? We got 3 here for you, HE. We got which one would you like to go over?
That what was above it? The MOC. Okay, don't try this at home, kids. Okay.
So this one?
Yeah,
Okay.
let's do that. I guess there's a couple of times where I've come back from a awful losing day and just made it back. So you know that everyone is bailing from their positions, that they're closing out. You know, algos are turning off. And wait a minute, I think I have something. I think I have something here. I think I have the chart that looks at that day. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. So I just put it in the chat.
Okay.
So look at that.
So
Look at that. Look at that bottom.
you're up.
That very weak.
You were up.
Yeah, we're up there.
You were right in here, I think. Right? Is that right?
Right.
Okay.
So that blue line going across, that's your micro composite VPOC. That red, see, that's those gray levels, my action bands.
Okay.
I used to create levels for a large community, gents. For FT71, I used to do the NQ levels for the whole community. So that was a lot of pressure. I think I, lost a lot of good hair doing that. But that was every morning. And
Nothing wrong losing there, mate.
I had to create those levels. So the levels that you see there, those gray bands, those are there from the night before.
Okay.
Right? Okay. So now, and I might have adjusted it since, but just look at that very weak low that was established in that day, right? How many times are we going to hit that level? Look, that's midday, right? That's lunch. How many times are we going to hit that? I'm like, no way. So that's kind of, you're looking at the context. We've moved up. We had range extension above the IB, fell back in to the IB, and spent a good part of that day. And this was after a very strong down day the day before, right?
Yeah.
So now it moves up. So I call this a structured trade if we move from one of these bands to the next one, right? So we went down. We have this full congested low, and then we get a structured move up, choppy one. So now this is the MOC, and I'm actually leaning into the pitch. I'm like,
connection lost.
I don't believe that low is it for the day. So I went in with a belief, because it's very rare that you'll see a candle set up like that. Okay. So my bias was low.
Okay.
Right? So you can see where the VPOC of the day was formed. So if we go back to the chart, right? So here we have a 50 and 20K. So I mean, in ES, your century figures are the psychological numbers, right? Big ones. The millennium figures are big. How are you going to leave 20K behind? Is the mindset. How are you just going to end the day without testing 20K, right? Because everyone was thinking about long from the previous bear bar down day. It was very bearish. So everyone's looking to go long, but it's failing, right? So I'm looking at this. We got a VPOC migration coming into this time frame, and those arrows is just where the mind goes, right? Potential. So we got a ladder that's formed around the 20K, right? So now up there by the X, I'm watching, I'm saying, okay, we're not getting the buyers we need after the VPOC migration to get on the other side to move to the higher part, closer towards 100, to go up to the next century. It's not happening. So we get this push down, and I think I took a trade there. I think there was a loser there. I smell a loser. But anyway, we pushed into the 61 liquid, and the sellers form. We're going to move back to the VPOC. Did it twice. A little bit of buyers came in, and then, right, as this MOC was coming about, I started to take. So I think it was John earlier that was talking about adding to trades. So this is what you'll see here, John. If it was John, so I got in. The red is the short. and white will be my scale out. So I did a scale out ahead on one unit, but then I added another unit, and I got the big seller there at the 50 and held on, and then I did scale at the next one, right? And then what happens is I actually got back into the trade. So what am I doing, right? If you see the seller at 25, what am I doing? So all of this happened quite quick, by the way. I added the seller again and went down, and I got my scale out at the top of the ladder and at the bottom. And because we crossed over 20K, usually they'll come back and recheck. You see this at Century Figures all the time and at the Millennium Figure. So that's the scalp that I took back up towards the 20K.
Okay. Let's see. David, jump in. Please. Please, sir. Are you there?
Did we lose him?
I'm talking to myself on mute. Sorry, traders. Yeah, my bad. Great trading here, HE. And this is the pattern that I was talking about a moment ago. Here we've got these lower highs getting printed, and then you go short. Fantastic. There's all the great analysis that you've done in terms of the levels. Brilliant, as you say, round numbers, the millennials, the centuries, and so forth. But that is the pattern that is saying to me, let's look for that short. Let's take a short, etc., etc.
You mean the weak low from early in the day?
No, just the fact that the spikes are getting lower. You've got lower highs, as Bruce highlighted there with the yellow boxes. So it's failing to push higher. It's getting lower and lower, and that to me is always a lovely setup for a scalp, one way or the other. Yeah. Mixed in with everything else you've done, absolutely.
Plus, look at all the selling volume in there.
Yeah.
I know you're about to say that, David. So sorry.
Covered me well there, Bruce. Thank you for my blushes. Let's throw the ball to Stan.
And remember, with this trade, that weak low from early in the day was at the 20K.
Yeah.
So that's why the bias was strong, and I felt confident enough to add to the trade a number of times.
Love it. Love the addon. Yeah.
Yeah, great. Yeah, not a lot to say. Thanks for all the explanation. Makes sense. Yeah, just for my eyes.
Something else to note, if we look at the SVP, right? If we look right up there where I was initiating, look how it's all red. Look at that.
I'm sorry.
Right,
so on the right hand side, this one.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
Look at that right there to there, all dominated red. So the area that I'm watching. Right. So sellers dominant in there, all the way down to the target. Technically, you see where some buyers came in, right? Because we did have chop up and down there. That's the whole session profile. But right. the dominance is seller.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, this is Vinny real quick. Yeah, just real briefly, I can't see to the left of the chart. I'd be curious to see what it looked a little further to the left. And but it looks like you're in a consolidation phase right here. And I'm sure you were focusing on that. And I really like your explanation with the chart on the right. I'd be curious to find out what the DOM had to say, if there was any kind of delta negative. I would assume that it probably is because of what your explanation was with all the red on the right. So that might have been an excellent short. You were right on top of it. So I just have one question. What is the purple line up there, if you don't mind?
That's the point of control that migrated down.
Okay.
So you could match this chart up with the last two bars there, the last bar on that on the chart that's in the chat. Those are 15-minute bars, right? So I mean that's best we could figure out what was to the left, but On that software, I have relative delta that breaks down the size of my higher time frame participants, and my tape in Ninja is correlated with that. So I'll hear block trades that go off. That's telling me the size, based upon the animal noise that I have as the sound effect. That's telling me the size of the participant that's playing, and that's matching up with my volume dots in Bookmap. So there's this nice correlation across the board to see when big players are trying to move it somewhere, right? And that's what you want. You don't want to go against that. On the Thinkorswim, I'm watching the VIX. I'm watching the sectors, the 11 sectors, and I'm watching the Mag 7 in a comparative chart just to see what their attitude is, angle of attack as they're moving down in percentage, up and down. So a couple of these things to help me with the overall context and where the change in context may be taking place. So now it's time to drill down. I'm seeing, okay, I'm looking in the past, looking left with Bookmap, and you could see, okay, this thing has got to go down. Well, it doesn't have to do anything, but it's just likely. So I'm seeing here the red prints, and then that level down there is steady. If you look, there's no blip in it. That in the ladder by 20K, not a blip. And sure enough, that's where the largest sell orders came in once we reached target.
Yeah, it sounds like you have a lot of monitors and you're situationally aware. So bravo on that one. And I just had one other comment. I know I just real briefly, I know you're just listening to you. I'm wondering if sometimes you let your mental bias come in a little bit, only because you had mentioned something about that, a couple of times. And I didn't know if that comes into play a little bit, that makes you say, okay, this is going to go one way and I'm going to go ahead and make sure I sway a little bit toward this, but yet it goes another way. You know what I mean? I mean, it happens to all of us. And I was just wondering if that's a challenge that you may be facing a little bit.
I'll come on one day and I'll do a whole 2 hours on psychology.
All right, deal.
That's because that's more important than everything else that we're looking at here. You're absolutely right. It's been a double-edged sword for me, the bias, and I've been working out when to keep the door closed and when to open it. I mean, it was hard to move away from the bias with that setup that you could see on the right there. It was really hard for me to give that up because I've just, your screen time, when you have decades of screen time, it does add up for something, right? So I've seen this before. I've seen that pattern before, right? And then you're not falling for turning into a bullish day, right? Things have been a little wacky, and yeah, the market is correcting. So I love to put on the bear suit, and with that structure, yeah, I had the bias long before the MOC kicked in. I was looking for something to set up, and what we could see is that value was following price from where we were earlier. That's a migration of the VPOT. So it's like so all clues begin to match. You go along with it.
Okay, we were getting kind of hard to hear you in the connection there,
If you
HE. Starting to lose you a little bit.
I try to see my who's paying participants coming in.
Is everyone else having a problem hearing HE, or is it just me?
Yeah, me either. I think you're
okay.
lagging.
Drop the
Okay.
bears.
Hey, HE,
gotta be really
we can't
bad in the past.
we can't hear you. It's really bad connection.
Getting into a nuance. Bias is lining up with statistics.
So let's if you can hear me, He, let's we got to wrap up. We've gone a couple hours now. I do have a few comments on this chart for you.
Hello?
Yeah, yeah, we can hear you. It's really bad connection, He. Uh, so and plus, I think we gotta wrap up here. So I just wanted to give a few comments, and then
Okay.
maybe give anyone else
Uh-huh.
last words here before we wrap up. I really like this trade a lot. This is something that it started off with. I look at exactly what David was talking about. Now that's me personally. I the lower you're not finding okay, a little bit of buying here, but it folds. You see more selling way down here, a little bit of buying here, but they're making lower highs. They can't.
Yeah.
It's not sustained, and we're looking for them to trade. I'm looking for them to trade into and through this one here, and and boy does it. It's really telling you something. I feel up in this area here. What I also really like is that behavior in the price action and the order flow matches very nicely with your higher time frame here. Okay, because you have all of your justification in here. This area in here, it tested, couldn't make it. We, scoot back up higher, stop everybody out about, these ranges in here. And then it retests back down. And now this is the critical point in my book on the higher time frame, is you got your, looks like your point of control in here at 67 or
Yeah.
80 or I mean 68, something like that. Now it's traded through it. It comes back, tests the back side of it. You're looking in here and you're looking for that weakness and you're looking for that target in here. I don't think it's a gut feel. You've got a legitimate setup in here. And maybe, I don't know if you use a setup checklist, but we kind of go through it in the academy here of like it's kind of required. You got to put your setup checklist together, and so you know exactly what you're looking for. But this is just a beauty in my book. You've got all these things. It's just screaming that it wants to break and hit down into the higher liquidity down here, and you nailed it. Even your trade management, it's a little odd here. I see you're looking at that liquidity in here. It's tremendous move very quickly with a lot of volume behind it. So a lot of momentum here. I might be front running this level down here instead, and get out some. I love that you got back in again, because like there's no reason. And if they're selling more underneath that level, they want to go down here, and it just there's good logic and sense. We've all seen it so many times that this is a strong move. So and it traded into and through it, and there's more selling again. There's more supply. They're going to hit the demand down here. And I even love this was based off of your experience. It looks like it goes through the figures and then scalp it back up to the figure. Is a beauty too. I've tried this in the NQ many times, and yeah, I've caught it a bunch of times, but like I just won't do it anymore in the NQ. Even in the ES, I'm like, yeah, because it just keeps going, and like it does it, but
Yeah.
it's like you're thinking it's going to be like, maybe 3-4 points, and then do it, but it goes like 10, and then it comes back, and I'm like, Jesus. So I try to kind of, unless I see something real good, I'll stay away from that one. But this is a beautiful momentum trade, just a beauty in my book.
Yeah, it is very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, and
I would a legitimate setup.
I would say like revisit that gut feeling comment. I really like that Vinny, Vinny, you brought that up, because I don't think I would have said anything. But and by looking at this, I don't think it's a gut feel at all. Like it's like this is a legitimate setup, and it looks like it's just ready to scream through. And you can put that into a checklist, and that
Hmm.
could be a great setup for you, especially end of
You
day.
pointed at the one thing that I regretted,
Mhm.
Bruce. That first not the first one, but the next scale out.
Yeah.
Um, right where I got out. Totally no, the one above where I got out before I
Uh-huh.
got back in.
Uh-huh.
Above, yeah. I regret that. I think I just lost my nerve actually because I was looking at like the momentum. I don't know what happened. I'm looking at those two levels, and I took it, and it was quickly I got back in. But yeah, I should have held to that one,
I mean,
or front run it a
as
little
long
bit
as
closer.
I mean, like I could see myself, we can all make up stuff. Like, it's a measured move down to here. You have some liquidity down here.
Mhm.
You're scared. I would be scared of a pullback, right to it, and it may even go higher. But I mean, there's some reasoning. You can always like reason these things out. But like, um, I don't know. It doesn't bother me that much. Like if I look at this, I go, yeah,
That one was right at the
whatever.
that one was right at the MOC. The trade started before, and I think the MOC hit, which is 10 minutes of the hour, right? 15:50. So I said I'm going to take. That's what it was. So I took, and it didn't get a big pullback to the upside,
Hmm.
and I got back in. That's what happened. Now I remember because that's right at the time.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
great. It's a beauty. It's really and it's end of the day as well. Market on close. So you got yeah, it's a fantastic momentum trade here. Any other comments, guys? We've got to wrap it up. I hate to go over 2 hours, and I really appreciate everybody, coaches especially, for coming in and giving your feedback like this, and everyone you're staying in here.
Thank you, guys.
You're doing all the work. Trading is life. Malek, Shark Baloo, Laura, Duzman. I see you in here a bunch of times, but I haven't seen any of your work yet. Stephen, DNT. I know you guys have. We went over you last time, DNT. Stephen, you said you didn't fill out your spreadsheet. That's why we didn't go over you, but we would have. I marked you up and noted you for last time, so posted this week. Okay, all right. So anyway, yeah, great session, guys. Thank you all. David.
Thanks all. Thanks. I appreciate the critiquing,
That's been
and I
great,
appreciate
buddy.
you guys
David, Stan,
hosting.
Vinny, any last comments here?
Beautiful community. Thank you, everyone. Really
Yeah,
appreciate
thank
your time.
you.
Well done, Laura, staying up late as well. So, yeah, great weekend when it comes.
Yeah, thank
Bruce,
you.
Bruce has
Yeah,
got
I
a date
enjoyed
with some honey
too.
and lemon.
Outstanding.
We gotta let him go.
Will do. All right, David, take us out, please.
Thanks, guys. Nice weekend when it comes. Party hard, drink like a rock star, and party like something else. Thanks, Bruce. Take care, everyone. Cheers, guys. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.